It was just another quiet Thursday evening when everything changed. Sarah and I had been married for 9 years. Like any couple, we'd faced our share of struggles, but I believed we were steady, strong even. That night, we were having dinner, just the two of us, when she looked up and dropped a sentence that made the world tilt under me. "Dan, I've been thinking. Maybe we should try an open marriage." I froze mid-bite, fork suspended in the air. My brain struggled to process what I'd just heard. I repeated her words back, stunned, like I'd misunderstood. "An open marriage?" She nodded, completely calm, like she was talking about rearranging the furniture. "We're still young. I love you, but I think it could be good for us, exciting even." Something cracked inside me then. I felt heat rising in my chest, shock, betrayal, confusion, but I didn't let it show. I kept my expression still, unreadable. She reached out and placed her hand over mine. "You trust me, don't you? This isn't about replacing you. I just want to explore, experience more. Don't you want to be happy?" What I wanted, more than anything, was to pretend none of this was happening. But the more she spoke, the clearer it became. This wasn't some impulsive idea. She'd been thinking about it for a while, maybe even acting on it already. She sounded too prepared, too polished. I should have pushed back, asked questions, protested. But instead, I swallowed the storm churning inside and said quietly, "If that's what you want." Her face lit up, relief washing over her. "Really? You're okay with it?" I forced a small, brittle smile. "Sure. If it makes you happy." That night, long after she fell asleep, I lay on my back staring into the dark, feeling the hollow space between us grow wider. The woman I had promised forever to, the one I thought would grow old beside me, was slipping away, or maybe she already had. Then something shifted. The grief faded into something colder, clarity. If this was the path she wanted to take, I would walk it too, but I wouldn't follow her. I would lead, and I would come out the other side with my dignity intact. In the weeks that followed, Sarah seemed to come alive. She dressed up more, stayed out later, and became overly protective of her phone. I didn't confront her. I didn't ask where she was going. I just watched and waited. While she dove into her newfound freedom, I quietly began preparing. I visited a lawyer, discreetly. I needed to understand my rights, our finances, and how to shield myself if things unraveled. The attorney was calm, almost paternal. He walked me through the steps I needed to take: secure accounts, gather evidence, be ready. So I did. I started keeping records. Times, dates, purchases. I took note of odd charges and late-night calls she thought I didn't hear. I even installed a GPS tracker on her car. Something I never imagined myself doing, but didn't regret. It confirmed what I already knew deep down. She wasn't asking for permission to explore. She had already started. When I finally confronted her, it wasn't a dramatic scene. That wasn't the goal. The confrontation was just another calculated move in a larger plan. One evening, as she was getting ready to head out, I asked offhandedly, "Where are you going tonight?" She paused. Just for a moment. "Out with some friends." I raised an eyebrow, playing along. "Which friends?" I saw the irritation flash across her face. "Why does it matter?" I smiled. "You're right. It doesn't. Just curious." She seemed to relax, thinking we were back on safe ground. "This is good for us, Dan. Trust me. You'll see." "I'm sure I will." That night, after she left, I packed a bag and left the house. I'd already secured a short-term rental. I left nothing behind except my wedding ring on the kitchen counter. No note. No goodbye. The next morning, my phone lit up with missed calls and panicked voicemails. Sarah's voice cracked through the speaker, bouncing between confusion, anger, and desperate pleading. I didn't answer. Instead, I called the lawyer. It was time. Within a few days, I filed for divorce. I froze our joint accounts and removed her from my life insurance policy. With the help of my attorney, I sent her a formal letter, concise, unemotional, outlining that I was aware of her affair and seeking an uncontested separation. Sarah didn't take it well. She showed up at my rental, tears streaking her face, mascara smudged, her expression wild with disbelief. I let her in. "You can't do this," she shouted. "You agreed to this." I agreed to let you chase happiness, I said flatly. But I won't lose myself to help you find it. She collapsed onto the couch, her voice breaking. I didn't think it would go this far. I still love you. We can fix this. I let out a bitter laugh. Fix it? You broke it. And now that I'm walking away, you want to pretend it didn't happen. She cried, begged, made promises. Part of me, the old me, almost softened. But I didn't give in. The papers are with my lawyer, I said. Sign them and this ends clean. Fight me, and I promise it won't. She didn't give up easily. For weeks she stalled, tried guilt trips, even used mutual friends and her family to sway me. But I stayed firm. With every day that passed, I felt lighter, freer, like I was finally reclaiming the pieces of myself I'd given away too easily. Still, I wasn't done. Sarah cared deeply about how she was perceived. She wore the image of our perfect marriage like a badge. Her friends envied us, and her family adored me. So I decided it was time to tell the truth. I hosted a small dinner. I invited close friends and family, people who knew us. Sarah showed up too, uninvited, probably assuming she could control the narrative. But as everyone gathered, I calmly shared my side. No drama, no venom, just facts. I told them what had happened. How she asked for an open marriage. How she'd already stepped outside of it. How I chose to walk away with my self-respect intact. The room went quiet. Sarah tried to speak, but her voice faltered under the weight of her own decisions. One by one, people turned away, not out of cruelty, but disappointment. The image she'd tried to preserve cracked beyond repair. 6 months later, the divorce was final. Sarah moved away. I heard she started over somewhere new. As for me, I rebuilt. It wasn't instant or easy, but I found joy again. I picked up old hobbies, reconnected with friends, and eventually began dating. Slowly, I found myself again. One afternoon, months after the dust had settled, Sarah called. Her voice was soft, uncertain. Dan, I wanted to say I'm sorry. For everything. I paused, letting the silence speak. Thank you, I replied. But I've moved on. I hope you can too. She started to respond, but I ended the call. Not out of anger, but because I didn't need her apology. The man I'd become didn't owe her anything. I had peace now. Real peace. And I wasn't about to give it up.